Shalom and good day, this is Tehillim29 back again for another Marvel comic reviews. And in this Marvel comic reviews, I'm covering MoonKnight, Fist of Khonshu, and also Phases of the MoonKnight. One is issue 2, where the other one's issue 4. I'll now get things ready and organized for the first one that will be reviewed. So starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move to inside in relation to the story, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. And of course we'll have a look at the beginning area, to which will show us what's happening with the first reference page. So with this page keeping us up to date in regards to the things in relation to the character of MoonKnight and what is presently happening in the Fist of Khonshu story. We'll now move to the main page and see who's there. So things off start in the Impossible City, which is in Earth's orbit. We notice that the character of MoonKnight is there, along with a couple of other characters, to which it looks, it's Tony Stark there. It would have been nice if it sort of like had the character address it as Tony Stark, because it looks not like Tony Stark. Just saying. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we meet the character known as the Cubist. And this is going to be one of the villains of MoonKnight. And of course we have the characters of Hunter's Moon present, 8-Ball present, and anyone else that is helping MoonKnight take on his villains during this time. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get to see MoonKnight talking with Tigra, and I think it's Andrea, and maybe even Reese. Whilst this is happening, the Midnight Mission is getting invaded by some unwanted guests. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, did this story address anything in relation to time? No, it didn't. But we did actually get a comic book reference to one of the Avengers, Inc. Issue 41, I think it was. Next is the locations, which we see the Midnight Mission and, of course, the Impossible City above Earth. Moving into the cast of characters, we have MoonKnight, we have Reese, Soldier, 8-Ball, Tigra, Hunter's Move, Achilles. We also have Achilles Fairchild, and last but not least, Cubist. For the overall rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to Phases of the MoonKnight, issue 4. So, as we start to move into Phases of the MoonKnight, issue 4, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence, not so much, to which I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the internal art, to which we'll have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. This does actually have 2 stories in it, but I will be rating it as 1 story. So of course we have this at the beginning of it, and the stories that are in here, and who they're by. So as we begin to move through the first story, we are in the area of Alexandria in Egypt, to which we get a female MoonKnight doing her thing. And of course, we do know that she's got a father and I guess some father issues of sorts. Moving a little bit further, of course, she does what she can to sort of like stop the invasion by the British. Then we move into the present one with the next story, which is set in the present and what's happening here. And with things, we get a slight flashback to some of the things around the area of Khonshu, which we get to see 874 BC or 824 BC. Yeah, 824 BC. as we get to see some of the ancient time period, to which we start to see some more lore of sorts being built up for the character of Moon Knight, or should we say the Moon Knight powers. Of course, we get to see a little bit more involving the character of Moon Knight himself, along with the villain that's present in the story, and also how they work alongside with Khonshu. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. Next is first things first. Did we get anything addressing time-wise? To which we did. First is 1892 and also 824 BC. The locations that make an appearance in the story. We have Egypt, we have Mesopotamia, and we, of course, have, I think it was Califrame, or wherever the place was. It wasn't really... Next, we have the cast of characters, to which we have Moon Knight, Khonshu, Amon Pharos, and of course the Moon Knight of Alexandria in Cairo, Egypt. For the overall rating, I give it a 6 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.